Jackets will carry a state championship back to the mountains.
The Yellow Jackets aren't the only ones who dig deep to find success. So do the fine folks at Graves Directional Drilling. You can rely on Graves Directional Drilling to guide you through every step of the project at hand. Graves offers site evaluation, project development, design development, blueprints, site logistics, safety programs, quality control, materials, directional drilling, trenching, and site cleanup. Call Stephen Graves at 706-897-0374. Graves Directional Drilling, proud supporter of the Hayesville Yellow Jackets and 389 Country.
At Interstate Welding and Steel Supply, we strive for excellence in all of our products and services. From medical, food, and industrial gases, including propane, to steel, aluminum, and other metal materials, we have everything you need for your business or personal needs. Visit one of our 2 showrooms for welding equipment, truck and trailer supplies, power tools, and so much more. Our professional sales team will help you find exactly what you need. Call our Marble location at 888-613-8284 or our Blue Ridge store at 706-900-1000. Plus, you can always visit us online at interstatewelding.com.
The views and opinions expressed on the Morning Buzz are not necessarily those of 389 Country advertisers, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, or Google Podcasts.
But they should be.
This is the Morning Buzz.
George Jones, the way we kick things off every Friday, finally Friday. Now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. It's time now for the 411 for the 389. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is reporting the first pediatric flu-related death for the 2023-2024 flu season, A child in the western part of the state recently died from complications associated with influenza infection. To protect the family's privacy, additional information will not be released. North Carolina has seen a rise in flu cases in recent weeks in combination with rising RSV cases and continued COVID-19 activity. 5 adult flu-associated deaths have already been reported in North Carolina this season, and according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, one other state has reported a pediatric flu death as of November the 11th. You can get this full story over at 389country.com. And I wanted to focus just on that story this morning. That's a pretty big story. Now, look, I know what you're saying. He mentioned COVID in there, and he talks bad about COVID. To me, this just shows that anything can take you out. I mean, we've had 5 flu-related deaths among adults and now one for a kid. So just, tis the season, right? Sickness is going around. Had a friend last night send me a message asking for prayers for her little one. RSV. I mean, she sent me a video of him breathing. It sounded terrible. So just especially the little ones and, the elderly, those who have underlying conditions, pay attention. If they're not feeling well, it may not just be a cold. So there you go, the 411 for the 389. Now we got to make up for yesterday and jump on the old CDX choo-choo train, counting down the top 10 songs of the past 7 days. We're starting at number 10, and man, this one free fell. I kind of thought it might make its way up to number 1. It was at number 3 last week, but this week, Russell Dickerson has fallen all the way to 10th with God Gave Me a Girl. Russell Dickerson at number 10, God Gave Me a Girl. Well, I hope things are going well for you this morning. Maybe a lot of you I know have the day off, and, maybe you're just now waking up. Maybe you're still laying in bed, tuned in, or maybe you're already out and gone, shopping. So whether you're headed to the office today, to the job site, to the store, no school, but heck, maybe you're at a store somewhere. At some point today, dear friends, you're going to find yourself in the presence of those who make it abundantly clear to you that they need to be educated on the ways of this world. And when that moment happens, dear friends, I want you to look them dead in the eye and say, losers, I bet I'm smarter than you, and I can prove it. And then hit them with this. Did you know the word burrito means little donkey in Spanish? It's true. It's true. Burritos originated in the Mexican state of Guanajuato. Yep. And the first mention of them was in a dictionary in 1895, which described them as a, quote, rolled tortilla with meat and other things inside. Unfortunately, there's no explanation as to why burritos were named after donkeys or why they are specifically named after little donkeys. I bet I can tell you why. Because that, when you roll it up like that, it carries a lot of things. The donkey is the beast of burden. It carries things. That tortilla, it held and carried your meat and those, quote, other things. I figured it out. I don't know. See, they needed to just ask me. And then, dear friends, after you have left them wowed, nay, slack-jawed at your superior knowledge, I want you to hit them with the old 1-2 punch. Look at them again and say, not only am I smarter than you hillbillies, I'm funnier too. And then drop this on them. A dad was making his first trip to the hospital with his teenage son, where his son was about to have an operation. Now, the dad wasn't familiar with procedures. Watching the doctor's every move, he asked, "What's that?" The doctor explained, "This is an anesthetic. After he gets this, he won't know a thing that's going on." To which the dad says, "Save your time, Doc. He don't know nothing now." Get it? Get it? Here's Thomas Rhett. Welcome back, Buzzers. It's time for sports, and we begin sports. As you can imagine, not much happening yesterday, but I do have some sports news for you. Young Harris College basketball will be in action tomorrow. Both teams are at home. Both teams will be taking on Toccoa Falls. Looks like the ladies get things started at 1:30 with the tip-off. The men scheduled for a 3:30 tip-off. Come on out and defend the den. I will be there. Well, I mean, I've got tickets. Hopefully, I will be there. I've told y'all, my daughter and I, we've decided that this is going to be daddy-daughter time. So, once again, and $10, you get two college basketball games for $10. When you consider that one is normally $8, look what a deal you're getting. So, what else you going to do on a Saturday afternoon? Once again, they will be at home. 1:30 tip-off for the ladies. And that's a look at sports. Sports brought to you, as always, by the fine folks at the Clay County Recreation Center. Welcome back, Buzzers. Yo, buddy Trav here. I meant to play this one the other day and didn't get around to it. This is the latest from Ashley Barron. This is Kiss a Brunette. This is a trash or treasure, by the way. Let me know what you think about it. 389country@gmail.com. There you go. Ashley Barron with Kiss a Brunette. So far, good feedback rolling in. That's a rocking little tune, isn't it, huh? Huh? Maybe. I kind of liked it. I mean, that'll get you rolling on a Friday morning, Black Friday. Hey, you know what time it is now? Well, dear friends, I'm glad you asked. It's time for our Bozo News of the Day. For some of you, this may remind you of yesterday with your family. All right, man. This producer. Hey, look, I know it's the holidays, and yeah, I know we're on the air, but you got to do better, man. How long have you worked here? All right. Now, don't count tomorrow, because we're not sure. Sorry, y'all had to hear that ugliness. All right, so we head to Florida today, Lake County, Florida, to be exact, and this is from our senior division of Bozo Criminals. Now, any of you who are married may be able to relate to this one, all right? Our 70-year-old bozo became upset with his wife when he discovered that once again the coffee maker had no water in it. Well, I was going to make me some coffee, but shocker, no water in this thing. I fill it up every time. The spat quickly escalated, and our bozo picked up the first weapon he could find, a package of Oreos. You know you're mad when you are slinging Oreos at your spouse. Like, that's it, I've had enough. Yep, he threw a package of Oreos at her, allegedly knocking her down. Now, I don't believe that. If Meemaw got knocked down by a pack of Oreos, she had bigger problems than not filling up the coffee maker, right? I mean, how do you get taken out by a pack of Oreos? Like a box? Maybe. But a pack of Oreos? Maybe it was double stuffed. Maybe that's why. But, anyway, police could find no obvious injuries, but our bozo was arrested and charged with domestic violence anyway. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Look, she better be glad that it wasn't those butter cookies in the tins, you know, that everyone uses for their sewing kit. If he'd have hit her with that, if Oreos knocked her down, those butter cookies in the metal tin would have killed her. Anyway, back to the music and back to the CDX countdown. Number 9 this week, up one spot from 10 last week. It's Nate Smith, World on Fire. Nate Smith, number 9 this week, World on Fire. That's another good little rockin' number. I hope this has got you motivated on a Friday as we get ready for the weekend. And with it being Friday, we always take a look at a little Friday funny. And today, our Friday funny comes from us from the self-proclaimed, and I agree with him, funniest man in America, James Gregory. And today, he's got a warning for you before you take a Caribbean vacation. Pay attention here. Zach Brown Band, Island Song for that James Gregory with Friday Funny. All right. Let's take a look at country music history on this day. Born in not born, but in 1973, Charlie Rich was at number 1 on the U.S. country singles chart with The Most Beautiful Girl, which also was number 1 on the pop charts. And if you don't remember, hey, did you happen to see? Y'all, I know. Martha, he said he'd quit that singing. In 1981, Johnny Cash was honored with the Pride of Tennessee Award for his promotion of a statewide campaign against adult illiteracy. When I hear Tennessee Pride of Tennessee, I think of sausage. What about you? Born on this day in Fort Wayne, Indiana, was Megan Mullins, country music singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist. At the age of 18, she made her debut on the country music scene with the single Ain't What It Used to Be. Not familiar with that, I have to admit. In 2001, Toby Keith was at number 1 with I Want to Talk About Me. In 2013, country music winners at the year's American Music Awards included favorite male artist Luke Bryan, favorite female artist Taylor Swift, favorite country band duo group Lady Antebellum, now Lady A, stupid, and favorite country album was Red by Taylor Swift. Now, all of that, but I skipped over something, and there's a reason. On this day, in 1988, Ashland, Kentucky proclaimed Billy Ray Cyrus Day. Oh, you know what's coming. Happy Billy Ray Cyrus Day to you. Back to the countdown now. Number 8, up 1 spot from last week. It's Dan and Shay. Save me the trouble. There goes hour number 1, but don't you go anywhere. 2 full hours coming up. Political chaos. Stay tuned. Welcome back, buzzers. Happy Friday to you. If you're out shopping, please be considerate and be careful and be smart. That credit card bill is going to come in January, and you're going to be like, uh-oh. I let my heart overthink my brain. I think I'll vote for Joe. I say that because it is hour 2. And in hour 2, we talk political chaos from around the world. And for you Trumpsters, I have I have a revelation that the media has provided that it may totally change the way you see Donald Trump. You will be blown away by what we now know thanks to the media. But as we do every day in hour 2, we start off with a little talk with Jesus because you know we need Jesus before we talk politics. Today's 389 Country, this would be Praise and Worship Spotlight, comes from Mercy Me. Now, little note here. I really like Mercy Me. Yep, I really do. Which I really like most of what we play here. Anyway, here we go. This is their latest. This is called Always Only Jesus. Welcome back, buzzers. That song's still going. There we go. Well, you know what time it is. It's time for a little political chaos. And we begin with, for you Trumpers out there, I've got some news for you. It may just shock you. You may never vote for Trump again. Thanks to this hard-hitting piece from The Atlantic. This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime scoops, the kind that, you know, most journalists can only dream of, and the kind that can make a career. Are you ready? The Atlantic headline reads, Donald Trump is old. Did y'all get that? Did you know that Donald Trump was old? I didn't know that. I thought he was a spry 38-year-old man. Wait, that's Vivek. It's like Watergate and the Pentagon Papers and whatever Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were doing yesterday, all wrapped up into one explosive expose here, right? Shocking from the story. The piece was written by esteemed author David A. Graham, who I only know is esteemed because he won the coveted Toner Prize for Excellence in National Political Reporting in 2021. Now, look, I've never heard of that award either, but I'm pretty sure we're all supposed to be super impressed. Otherwise, he wouldn't have included it in his bio, right? Anyway, he starts off his stunning peace with this revelation from the story. Donald Trump is an old man. Wow. Then, not only that, then he then backs it up with an impressive recitation of facts that he must have, taken 5 or 6 minutes to steal from Wikipedia from the story. He's 77 years old. When Trump was born, Harry S. Truman was president, and Perry Como topped the year's pop charts. Betty White hadn't yet started her career in film. Israel and Pakistan didn't exist. Korea was a unified country, and Vietnam was not. And the pioneering computer ENIAC was just 4 months old. Now, he goes on like that for 3 more paragraphs, and he finishes with a recitation of how many loved ones Trump has lost. From the story, Trump's older sister died recently at the age of 86. His younger brother died in 2020. Another brother died in 1981. His first wife died last year. So, because Trump is in his upper 70s, and because he has known people that has died, that probably means that he's probably going to die and shouldn't be president. Got it? All right, good. Let me see here. Oh, then he goes on and he cites these instances where Trump made mistakes, like when Trump made the massive mistake of mixing up Sioux Falls with Sioux City. The type of egregious errors that could result in a diplomatic crisis, maybe World War III. What did he call us? He called us Sioux Falls instead of Sioux City. Get the nukes! So what's the point of all of this? Back to the story. To the extent that old age is an issue for a presidential contender, it should be an issue for both. So basically saying, all these people talking about how old Joe Biden is, Trump's old too. Yep. One, not as old as Joe Biden. 2, way more competent than Joe Biden, right? I mean, again, if you voted for Biden, you have to, at this point, be able to be honest with yourself. You don't have to email me and be like, Trav, you're right. You don't have to tell anybody, but you need to be honest with yourself. The man has issues, big time issues. If you saw the video where he was supposed to be pardoning the Thanksgiving turkeys, and all of a sudden he bolts, like right in the middle of everything, he just bolts back to the White House. You have to admit there's something wrong. So you can't say that the two are equal because they're old. Now, I agree. It's ridiculous that we're going to have 80, well, by the time we vote, Biden will be 82 and 78-year-old Donald Trump. That's the two best we're going to have. We can't even find somebody that think about this. We found if we had a candidate that was 70 running, he would be the young whippersnapper in this. Well, how old's RFK? I think he's like 68, isn't he? Something like that. So 68-year-old man is the kid on the block, y'all. We got problems. But there you go. Just a revelation that Donald Trump, too, is old. Back to the countdown now. It is Morgan Wallen down 3 spots from number 4 last week. He's at number 7 this week. It's Morgan Wallen with Thinking About Me. Dialing up a little more political chaos, we head to Chicago. Now, this is totally true. This is not for, funnies and humors and all that. This is true. The sanctuary city of Chicago has built a giant encampment for illegal immigrants, and they have hid the construction from reporters. Yep. The great sanctuary city of Chicago, led by a guy the Communist Party USA celebrates, is building a giant encampment to hold all the migrants pouring in, because those who hold giant encampments are usually on the right side of history, right? Let's take a look at history. Let's see. Yep, that one. Yep. This one. Yeah, that's always the way to go. From Fox 32, after months of pushback from community members, a migrant encampment on Chicago's South Side is becoming a reality. Residents who live near 115th and Halstead say construction has been ramping up over the last several days, yet officials have not been forthcoming about the details. Fox 32 Chicago has asked for, but has not received, a project timeline from the office of Mayor Brandon Johnson. What happened to Beetlejuice? I guess they finally kicked her out. So the Marxist who ran on higher taxes doesn't want to be forthcoming. That's odd, isn't it? All the Marxists I've ever known throughout history have been shining beacons of transparency and, accountability. Again, look at history. Back to the story. On Sunday afternoon, Fox 32 drove to the encampment site to film the progress, but it was something construction crews were quick to cover up. Behind a newly installed chain-link fence that surrounds a once bustling grocery store, there is no denying that movement was being made. Mounds of dirt are on site along with construction equipment and crew members. That's not all. Workers then lined the chain-link fence with a black privacy screen. Now those passing by cannot see into the lot. Again, not something you'd usually see in Marxist and National Socialist communist camp. There's nothing to see here. They wouldn't do that. They aren't known for building encampments to get rid of undesirables and hiding it from reporters. No. So, now, hold on now. I'm sure Chicago's far-left leadership, which, has been in power for decades, will, get on helping establish legal citizens, right? After all, under these Marxist leaders like Brandon Johnson, again, history has proven that the average citizen benefits the most, right? Right, guys? The story continues, but here's the thing. We're a sanctuary city. Hey, we need to build an encampment for this bunch that keeps rolling in, but let's keep it from the reporters and try to hide it from the public. By the way, spending public money, to pay for this. So we're going to spend the tax dollars. He's raised taxes, spends tax dollars, but not going to tell the taxpayers what's going on. Sounds great to me, guys. Why do they keep voting for these kind of people? Does anybody know? Anybody have any idea why? Because they've been brainwashed to think that Democrats care about me and Republicans do not. That's where it lands. And independents can't win. That's where it lands. And let me tell you something. Let me just, to be fair, you have some on the right that believe that only Republicans care about me. No Democrat does, and independents cannot win. Both parties unite to tell you that an independent cannot win. I know I chased a rabbit, but it was one worth chasing. Welcome back, buzzers. I told you Shannon McCombs yesterday I wasn't here, so she just went ahead and sent her country music news, and it's, as you can imagine, it's Thanksgiving themed. It's still around. I know people still have like Thanksgiving dinners coming up today and tomorrow, so we're still in the mood. So let's hear what Shannon had to educate us on this week. Brad Paisley, last time for everything. Well, let me pick up the old phone here. Dialing up some more political chaos, and you may ask yourself, Seth, how is this political chaos? Stay tuned, I'll explain it to you. So, every year, parents, they rush out to buy the latest and greatest and, the hottest special gift that stores just can't keep in stock, right? Last year, it was the Little Live Pets Mama Surprise. Now, I never heard of that because, my kids are teenagers and they're a little above this, but apparently that was the big thing. So here's some of the favorite retailers if you're out today. This is what retailers and toy experts had pegged this year's for the big gift, all right? But first, let's talk about some that are making a surprise comeback. Okay, so if you're out shopping, Furby is back, and kids are loving it. And, now the AI is even better than it was. When was Furby a thing? Like 20 years ago, I guess. Also, a gravity-defying remote control car. This car can run upside down on the walls and stuff, I guess. I don't know. So if you see that and you've got a little boy on the old Christmas list, you may want to get something like that. Also, Barbie, the movie dolls. So Barbie is back, but you need to make sure it's from Barbie the movie. Don't know how a kid would know, but there you go. And one of my favorites, my kids had this growing up, a blanket fort Tinker Toy mashup. It's these sticks, and it's kind of like giant Tinker Toys, and they build forts, and then you throw a blanket over it, and it's, it's pretty simple, pretty cool. But as pre-Black Friday sales have rolled in, it's become obvious that none of these toys are the runaway winner for the Christmas season. In fact, rather than being impossible to find, like, toys are a lot of the times around this year, these special ones, these are being marked down in retailers just to sell them. So what's the one special thing parents want to get their kids for Christmas this year? Well, retailers and toy manufacturers, they have released what they say is the number one item on the mom and dad's mind. Thanks to Bidenomics, it's food. That's right, food. Walmart says customers are spending more than 60% of their purchases on food and daily necessities, and there's just no cushion for big holiday spending on things like toys. From the story, the most important thing for people this holiday is to have food on the table for their families. Yep. Toy giants Mattel and Hasbro have slashed their revenue guidance for the year, seeing their stock plummet. They said, we have a cautious outlook on this holiday. We do not have a real solid view on where the market will go. Meanwhile, the White House continues to gaslight the nation on social media with posts like this. Total jobs created by President Biden, 13,954,000. Really? Also noted on this chart, he goes back to Reagan, to Bush Sr., Bush Jr., and Trump. No Clinton, no Obama on this. So, Bidenomics. It's working. So, Merry Christmas, little Bobby and little Susie. What is it? It's a can of Spam. You love me, Mommy. Back to the countdown. It's Morgan Wallen. Man, have I got some awesome news to share with you today. According to a new NBC News, a new NBC News poll, that is, more Americans now own guns than at any other point in 24 years of polling on the question. Merica going to America, right? An NBC News poll conducted November 10th through the 14th shows over half of Americans, 52%, say they or someone in their household owns a gun. It's up 10% over the last 10 years and 6% since 2019 alone. A majority of Americans now own guns. And that doesn't even include the poll participants who inevitably said, nice try, feds, and hung up, if you're smart. The poll revealed that Republicans are still more likely to own guns than other party affiliates. Democrat gun ownership has risen to 41%, which, if you live in a Democrat-run city, makes total sense, right? And chewed them up Chicago. Jewish Americans who vote majority Democrat have been running out to get guns and hitting the ranges in recent days. Even independents are clocking in at 45%. Now, why is this a good thing? Well, one, the whole benefit of having a civilian army is if another nation says we're going to invade. Well, all right, so 52%, we're what, 320 million people? I think. How many people are in the United States? I don't know. But let's look it up real quick. What, y'all got anything you need to be doing? I was thinking it was like 320. Let's see. No, I was wrong. 331 million people. So you figure a little over half of that. So let's say 168 million. That's probably wrong. 168 million people that are armed. If I'm an invading country, I'm having to consider, wait, we may have 20,000 soldiers, but they've got 168 million people. Right? So that's why it should be a good day. Now, why are gun sales up? Well, it's pretty obvious. All the chaos in the world, one, right? And the distrust of government. People have lost faith in the government's ability to do anything, including protect them. So there you go. So gun ownership, all-time high. I, for one, am not shocked at all. How about y'all? Do you have any guns? Lost mine in a boating accident. What? You make the 50th person today that's happened to. Yeah, it was all on the same boat. Let's jump back onto the countdown now. This one has fallen too. Big movers and shakers, comers and goers this week. Coming in at number 5 this week, all the way down from 2 last week, it's Dustin Lynch with Stars Like Confetti. Dustin Lynch, Stars Like Confetti. Now, for the last couple of weeks, I've had people asking, Trav, when are we going to get some Christmas music, my man? Well, I don't move into Christmas mode until we have Thanksgiving. I know it don't matter. Everything's the same. So, everything tastes. My one friend, she sent me a meme that said, hey, the turkey tastes the same even with the tree up. But I honor Thanksgiving, right? But Thanksgiving, dear friends, has come and gone. And so today we officially kick off the Christmas season here on the Morning Buzz and at 389 Country with our first Christmas song of the year, and it's fitting. This is the only way we can kick it off. Oh, did that put you in a good mood? I am in a good mood. That's White Trash Christmas. Let's keep the good mood going by officially kicking off your weekend, because it is Friday, and not a Friday goes by on the Morning Buzz that we don't celebrate with the Scotsman Song. I don't know where you been, but I see you won first prize. The Scotsman Song, everybody. Happy weekend to you. Carrie Underwood, Crazy Angels. That's going to do it for hour number 2, but don't you fret, dear friends. We still have a full hour to go, full of chaotic news from around the world, and we're going to have some fun. We've still got the top 4 to count down, crazy news story of the day, Black Friday edition, all kinds of fun to be had. Oh, and the BK Concrete Connection Racing Report. Stay tuned. Text a friend. Tell them to tune in. I really do appreciate you listening to us here on 389 Country. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the microphone on a Friday. Happy Friday to you. Black Friday to be exact. And looking out the old studio window, it kind of looks like Black Friday. Little blue skies, little clouds. Kind of looks wintry. But whatever you're doing today, whether it's out shopping, maybe you're at work, maybe you're chilling out at home, whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to hour number 3, when we take a look at chaotic news from around the world, including our crazy news story of the day. But we begin this hour, since it is 9 o'clock, with the 90s at 9 song of the day. Today, we go all the way back with Doug Stone. See if you remember this one. He needs a jukebox with a country song. Doug Stone with our 90s at 9 song this morning, jukebox with a country song. Well, yesterday was Thanksgiving, obviously, and Campbell's put together a list of the favorite side dishes in each state, and of course Campbell's Soup Company, and there's a map here, and looks like North Carolina's favorite side dish was stuffing and dressing. Georgia was a tie between stuffing and dressing, and I got to be honest with you, I'm colorblind, and I'm not real sure what this other one is. Possibly root vegetable dish, maybe? I don't know, y'all. I apologize. Or it could be yams and sweet potatoes, maybe. Alabama is the only state that chose sweet potato casserole as its number 1 side, though technically it tied with mac and cheese, which is fair, right? According to Campbell's, the average Thanksgiving meal includes 5 side dishes. This year, the overall most popular choice was mashed potatoes, beating out last year's favorite, the classic dressing/stuffing. Here's some. Here's something else that you need to pay attention to. Okay, a whopping 84% of Virginians preferred sides over turkey, compared to 64% of Americans on average. But the side they most prefer is salad. Let me tell you something, folks. If you go to a Thanksgiving dinner and the best thing you've got is salad, don't ever go back to that Thanksgiving dinner. They're trying to kill you. Now, at my family's Thanksgiving get-together, there was no turkey, because a lot of people in my family, they're not real big on turkey. So we do ham. Even at Christmas, Christmas ham, we've got the Easter ham, and we do Thanksgiving ham. And yesterday, I smoked a ham and put peach glaze on it, and let me just tell you, folks, it was good. But there was no salad to be seen on the old counter that held all the food. I couldn't imagine going to a Thanksgiving dinner and be like, you know what, I'm going to pass on all this other stuff. That salad right there, that looks like that's the place to be. Again, if you go next year and the best thing on the menu is their salad, quietly come up with a reason to leave. Welcome back, Buzzers. Back to the old countdown. This one is a big reason that we saw so many drop. All the way up from 8 to 4. It's Chris Stapleton with his latest, White Horse. If you've never heard it, get ready. You're about to enjoy. Chris Stapleton at number 4 this week with White Horse. I told you if you haven't heard it yet, you were going to love it. Do you love it? You remember $5 footlongs from Subway? Well, as could be expected, inflation has caused that price to go up. However, probably not as much as this woman thought. An Atlanta woman got the shock of her life when she realized, when she took a look at her credit card bill and realized her local Subway had charged her $7,000 for an Italian sub. 7,000 foot long. It just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Vera Connor orders the same sandwich from the store regularly. I know exactly what it normally costs. It's $7.54, she said. That'd be $7.54. That still seems high for a sandwich, don't it? But the credit card statement said the bill came out to $7,112.98. She said, I could have gone to Italy and got the sandwich. Good thing she's got a good sense of humor, right? But, it's really the convenience you're paying for. Italy, that's quite a ways from Atlanta. So Connor found her receipt and noticed that there was a huge tip added to the bill, but the tip wasn't just random numbers. There were numbers from her phone number. At that franchise, customers can enter their phone number to get points, and if you're eating at Subway on a regular basis, you want those points. She said, I must have been keying it in the pad, and the screen changed, Connor said. Seems like a mistake that could happen to anyone. So she figured Subway could easily and happily reverse the charges. But the store owner refused to entertain the idea. Subway ignored her, and her bank refused to issue a charge back. This is unbelievable because I feel everyone that sees it has to know it was a mistake. I've worked in retail before. I know how we tally up at the end of the night. But now all was not lost. Now that the media are picking up the story, Subway is all ears. Yeah, imagine that. The company says that they were aware that Connor disputed the charge and that they were in the middle of processing the charge back. So here's hoping they follow through. And remember, folks, things are rough out there. This isn't the time to be making $7,000 mistakes. Be careful when you putting something in. I think if I worked there and I look, I'm like, she wants that as a tip. I would be like, ma'am, I think you must have missed something. Now, I got a email from Terry from the 389country.com website. Terry says, look, enjoyed White Trash Christmas to kick everything off, but every year what kicks my Christmas off is All I Want for Christmas Is You. Now, I know a lot of people that's the way it is, but we're going to play it here, but not Mariah Carey. This is Tyra Madison, and if you enjoy the Mariah Carey version, you will not be disappointed. Tyra Madison there, All I Want for Christmas Is You. The season is upon us, y'all. The season is upon us. Well, let's jump back on the old countdown choo-choo train. Coming in at number 2 this week, up 2 spots from 4 last week. It's Tim McGraw with Standing Room Only. And looking around the studio this morning, there's plenty of standing room if you wanted to swing by and say hello. It's time now for the crazy news story of the day and special Black Friday edition. Let's go ahead and kill this. This seems a little loud. Y'all know it's a crazy news story. So this is, what is this from? These are stories from retail about their worst Black Friday experiences. One example here, you have the mom who let her kid use the GameStop floor as a restroom. Yep. You had the woman who called police over a sold-out TV. Yep, that was real. A woman who tackled and punched store employees for a Furby. And you got a man here who threw a chair at employees because of an iPad. And let's see here. What's Southern Belle with a filthy mouth and an aversion to lines. But the one we're going to land on, woman bites a cop over a Tickle Me Elmo. Now, look, in some cases, the police are, as it turns out, definitely the right choice, right? So the following story proves Black Friday shoppers can get violent. If you're one of these people who do this on a regular basis, you probably know and have seen something like this. My dad was a police officer when the toy of the year was Tickle Me Elmo, recalled Redditor Jenny Any Dots. He responded to a call at Walmart or Target, I can't remember which one exactly, about 2 women beating each other up over over a Tickle Me Elmo. When he went to break up the fight, one of the women bit his arm so hard that she actually spit some of his skin and blood out onto the floor. He had to get his blood tested every 6 months for 2 years after the incident to make sure he didn't get any disease from her. So, if you're out there and you're Black Friday shopping, don't resort to violence. If somebody's going to be like that, just let them have it. Or catch them out back. How about that, right? Catch me outside. Why do people lose their mind? I'll tell you why. Because we live in a materialistic-driven world, or country anyway, where I've got to have this. If I don't have this, then I'm not a fit parent. If your kids judge you on the gifts that they get at Christmas, you're failing as a parent anyway. Terry Clark, I just want to be mad for a while. I just want to jump back on the CDX Top 10 Choo-Choo Train. Coming in at number 2 this week, up 3 spots from last week. It's Dylan Scott, Can't Have Mine. We've talked about the feral chicken war in Hawaii for a while now, but now a bunch of chickens are mysteriously dying and everybody's freaked out about it. We need to get rid of these chickens. I got good news! Chickens is dying! We got to figure out why these chickens is dying. The Hawaiian federal chicken war on the island of Oahu has been going on for so long that it's easy to forget that there was ever such a thing as peace. So, like I say, we've talked about this before, but it's even gone into Honolulu as the chickens advanced, you know. Now, that when we last covered this ongoing battle, the contraceptive feed plan was failing and Honolulu was on the brink of surrender. Remember we talked about they were scattering feed with contraceptives? But now chickens are dying by the dozens on the North Shore, and local residents are spooked by how quiet it is around their neighborhood. I hate these dang chickens and roosters. You can't hear nothing. Hey, I got good news. These chickens and roosters is dying. It's too quiet. We need chickens and roosters. That's the way life goes. Even if the war still feels like war to them. From the story. Born and raised in Sunset Beach, Richard Hapuli is used to waking up every morning to the sound of chickens, but he suspects not everyone likes it. He says, lately there's been a lot of dead chickens around the neighborhood. The neighbor up the road buried, I think, 15 chickens. There's never been an amount like that of chickens dying, and I've lived here all my life. Okay. The years have been long, and the war has been hard, y'all. One resident described the dying birds in the most graphic and battle-weary of ways. It's a horrid smell. It's a dead animal smell, like dead cat or dog, she said. Apparently she's a smoker. It's awful. The rotting in our hot sun, nobody likes that. Even in death, the chickens are still fighting. How about that? The fighting never stops. The chickens and the fighting. That's the only two constants in Hawaii. So maybe the end is sight. Maybe the residents will at some point no longer have to fear, hordes of feral fowl roaming through the neighborhood. I'll tell you what's happening to these chickens. Somebody's had enough and they're poisoning them. They went out and spread poison. That's exactly what's happened to these chickens. Brett Eldridge, songs about you. Well, if you live in Wisconsin, pay attention to this. And if you don't live in Wisconsin, still pay attention to how stupid government is. I know this is not hour 2. This is chaotic news, but it still points to stupidity of government. So out of Wisconsin, the capital city of Madison has just decreased its salted roads. They have to do that by 50 miles, meaning if you're driving on those 50 miles of road during a snowstorm, you're probably more likely to go sliding in whichever direction. Now, here's what the city said. The city streets division will be cutting back on the number of roads that will be salted this winter by more than 50 miles. You can, you can figure cost, right? Cutting down on cost, spending less money. A spokesperson said the city bases salt routes on where Metro transit buses travel. With the Metro network redesign, Streets Division reassessed its routes. Now, this whole bus system was redesigned as cost-cutting, but the city has also released baseball cards for its snow machines to educate the people on the work they do. I think the people know the work they do, especially if they live on these 50 miles of roads that's not getting salt. You know what? I think those salt trucks put salt on the road so I could drive when it snowed. I know it does. I got a baseball card that tells me that. What are we doing? Well, I'll tell you what we're doing. We are going to tune in to the number 1 song in the land once again, week 3 for this duo. It's Jelly Roll with Lainey Wilson with Save Me at number 1. Warren Zyder's there. Cowboys right away. This Cowboys riding away. That's going to do it for the old Travanator on a Friday for the day and for the week. Thanks so much for spending a little time with me today. Make sure to keep a check on 389country.com throughout the day for news you can use. Always new, always free. And tomorrow makes the very first Rusty Wallace Chevrolet Game of the Week on our social media platforms and website. 8 p.m. for that. Make sure to tune in. Let's see. Josh David coming up at 10 o'clock. Make sure to keep us on for your soundtrack. I'll be back with you bright and early Monday morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will do it all again. Till then, I hope you have a great, great weekend. And remember, wrestling's real. Politicians are fake. I got all kinds of things to do. Thank you so much. See y'all on Monday. Have a good one.